Hello, this is a demo, uh, a recorded demo of my Invisalink software that I'm presenting or demoing, I suppose I should say, at Prodcon Wisconsin tomorrow. Now, I am recording this just in case something goes wrong and I have technical issues, then I can play this video and there's still something there for people to see on this demo. Now, what is this project? This project is called Invisalink. It's just a name that I coined. But what it does is it is meant to be an AI assistant slash chatbot for a consulting firm company. Specifically, it's for a technical consulting company. Um, and what it is capable of doing is it has basic CRUD operations for projects and consultants. A project you could think of as a contract because consulting firms go out and get contracts with different companies, and then consultants are employees to that consulting firm. Now, when you have consultants and contracts, you have to be able to send those consultants to contracts. So in this case, if we were to click into the projects tab of active projects, we'll see that there's one project or contract that's considered active. Now, just to show it, I do actually have 3 in the system, but 2 of them have end dates that have passed, so they're considered finished. So if we go back to the active tab, we can see the one that is active. And if we click into it, we can see the basic CRUD operations of being able to edit it, as well as be able to assign consultants to it, right? If you have contracts and you have consultants, you need to be able to assign consultants to those contracts. So for this project, I have assigned Liam Bennett and Ava Thompson. You're able to add projects pretty easily. I won't add one now, but just to showcase that it is possible. And the other big thing is the consultants page. Here we have allocated consultants, which is Ava Thompson and Leah Bennett, who I just showed, who are actively on a contract. And we have bench consultants. These are ones that are between contracts that are still full-time employees of that contracting firm. We click on the All tab and let's just go into Ava Thompson. If we click into Ava Thompson, we can see that her consultant profile shows up. Now, this is just a very basic consultant profile, right? Because it's just meant as a proof of concept / a demo to showcase these AI capabilities in a .NET tech stack. So the rest of the application is pretty bare bones, right? You're able to have a consultant who can have work history assigned to them. Think of it like work experience that you would put onto here, stuff that this individual person has done. You're able to add work history items manually. You can add description, start date, end date, whatever. The other big thing is you're able to upload a PDF. Now I don't have a resume handy, but if I did, and it does work, I've tested it, you're able to upload a PDF of like a resume, like I said, and it would parse through the resume and the little pieces would be added into the work history. And now that information would be associated to Ava inside of our relational database and the vector database. And the vector database is what is used by an AI model using retrieval augmented generation. It's able to go into that vector database and find things that relate to whatever is sent to it. So in our case, we could ask a prompt about Ava's work history, and it should give us an answer. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and ask it a question. Let's ask it, what can you tell me about Ava Thompson and her work experience? Now, what's happening behind the scenes is this prompt is being sent to an API endpoint. And from there, it's going in, it's determining the user's intent, which I have a small router, it's called, which is deciding what kind of question the user is asking, the prompt is asking. And then based off of what the prompt is determined to be asking, I go into the database and grab relevant information. So in the case of this, we ask what Ava Thompson's work experience is, which means I'm linking to that work history table to grab information back for this AI model to make an educated response, right? Now, Ava Thompson, if you were to read through this, it does in fact match what is on her work history. So in this, it's saying that she developed a lightweight inventory tracking system using Entity Framework Core. Let's go ahead and go into her profile. developed a lightweight inventory tracking system using C# and Entity Framework Core. So we can see that asking this a question, it was in fact able to go out into the database using retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, and get a response that is accurate, right? Now, it wasn't formatted the best, and that's because we're using a small language model behind the scenes here. This model is running completely on the CPU, capable of running offline. We don't need an active internet connection for this, and that opens up a bunch of possibilities, right? If you can keep this data safe and secure to a user's end system, then it opens up AI to be used in situations where security is a big concern, right? Especially with like PHI, right? So now we asked a question about Ava. Let's give a question. Let's ask it, do we have any projects that use AI? Let's go ahead and spell check this. We're sending it to the backend. The intent is being decided, and then it's coming back with a response after using retrieval augmented generation. We can see, yes, there are projects that use AI, specifically the AI-powered claims processing platform. We go into here, AI-powered claims processing platform, and it's a project about developing an AI-driven web platform. So we saw that that response was once again accurate. It went through the projects, it found something in there. Now, I know what a lot of you could be thinking. This could be staged. I could have just hard coded this stuff, right? So for an example, let's ask it. Well, we just asked it about an AI platform and it came back with only one answer, right? So let's go ahead and add another one. AI assistant. Let's just say that this is an AI web application chatbot assistant. We'll give it a start date, I don't know, a couple months ago, and we'll save it. So this is something that was just added into the system, right? If we go out and we ask it that same question. So let's go ahead and ask it the same question. Do we have any projects that use AI? Last time it didn't come back with the AI assistant chatbot, right? So I would expect this time that we added it, that there would be one for the AI chatbot. Now, it decided not to use the name for some reason, but we do see here an AI assistant. It does say projects 1, 3, and 4 involves AI, and I do think one of the inactive projects actually uses it. So we do have proof that something that was added dynamically came back in the response. Now, I'll be the first to admit with this project stuff, I put in this late, pretty much today. So the project prompt engineering behind the scenes isn't as great. So the questions that we ask it aren't going to be as accurate. So let's ask something from a consultant. What projects is Jordan Love on? The Packers quarterback. He's obviously not in the system. Let's ask it a question about that. Let's see what it comes back with. Jordan Love is not currently on any projects. Okay, so now we see that he didn't recognize Jordan Love. Let's add him. Let's make Jordan Love a software developer. Let's add him in. Let's go into our AI assistant project that we just created, and let's add Jordan Love to it. So let's ask the question again. What projects is our consultant Jordan Love on? Hey, we got a response back. So it took 2 times. Sometimes these small language models are a little bit finicky, but we can see that it did in fact tell us that Jordan Love is currently on project number 3, an AI-powered web application chatbot assistant. That's exactly what we put him onto, right? So that is fantastic. We saw an example of dynamically adding a consultant onto a project. Now, what else is this project capable of? We can ask it general questions like how many consultants are currently not on a project. Now we can see up in the top right here that we have 8 consultants that are currently not on the project, and we got 8 back as the response. Perfect. Now I would wish that this response was a little more, but it at least goes through and it tells us even more data and tells us the names of those that are on it. From a quick glance, it looks like that's pretty accurate as well. Now, the biggest power of this, in my opinion, is the ability for it to recommend consultants to a project. So, can you recommend me, let's just say, 2 consultants that have C# and Azure experience? And there we go. We can see that it came back. Now, it's not formatted the most pretty way, but we can indeed see that it came back and told us which consultants it believes is a good fit for a project that involves C# and Azure. And it gave us Lucas Hughes and Sophia Patel. Now this is a pretty powerful tool, right? And it has a lot of different applications. In this case, we're just showcasing something like a consulting firm because that's what I work for, and this is a demo to showcase what we can do at the firm. But this concept can be applied to pretty much anything, right? You now have the power to natively on .NET run an AI model. You can run embedding models, which allow you to do things like determine the user's intent. And the applications of that in itself, being able to determine user's intent, is insane. You can use that for calling functions automatically. You can give it a description as to when to call this function, and then based on the user's prompt, you can piece it together and say, hey, they actually wanted to do this, and call the code that runs to do that. Now, one more application that's a little easier to see with this setup could be for recruiting purposes. Perhaps instead of allocated consultants, you write recruits, and projects are essentially the positions that you have open, right? So just by changing the couple words up here, you could actually just make this work with the recruiting standpoint and say, hey, I need a I need a consultant or a recruit or, a new hire that is capable of using C#, Azure, and has X amount of experience in it. And then you'll get some recommendations. But this demo isn't meant to just showcase what this is. It's also meant to be a talking point to say, hey, now that this model inferencing is available in .NET natively, these are Microsoft managed NuGet packages that are running these, and on a CPU. It means that this stuff can be scaled to an enterprise level. It means you can keep your tech stack. You don't need your employees to learn Python. You don't need them to start branching into other things. You have tools at your disposal to keep them inside of their comfortable framework. And they can go out and they can create you your own AI chatbot that can reference the information in your database. Now, there's a bunch of talks that you can go to that says you have to be very careful when you're giving AI chatbots access to, production data, but that's not really this talk. So it's still the application of it. Because it's now available on .NET, we're able to run these open source free models for our own purposes. We don't have to pay for third-party services any longer. This stuff is all at our fingertips. We can do it ourselves, we can build it ourselves, and we can do it as cheap as possible. And that's pretty much all I have for this. There are a lot more applications to this. Please feel free to ask me, ask anyone else inside the AI demo lab, because everyone here is pretty knowledgeable on this stuff. We all find it very interesting, and we all love to do it. Thank you for watching.